fucking hands up. Put your fucking hands up.
Your lady needs you. Go! Today, I repay my debt.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
And now, WWE presents the Royal Rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night's Royal Rumble. And as you can probably tell, we might be talking about a little something. One of JV's favorite movies, Barbie.
You know, I saw it. It was terrible, but you know.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a little bit of me that I feel like you're gonna turn your camera on, Ryan, and you're gonna have bleached hair and spray tan going on,
and pink shirt and just
pink shirt. You're gonna be canned out,
and glitter all over the place. Just glitter.
I wish I was that smart, or I would have done that. The reason we're actually late is because hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Nomitron.
I'm here. What were you saying, Ryan? The reason why we're late is because
of me.
I thought you were gonna blame me, but okay, you can. Take
it is my birthday. I forgot. That's not a joke. My dad had to remind me on Wednesday. He's like, "Yeah, it's your birthday on Friday." And I'm like, "It is," and he's like, "Yeah." So that's why we're late. And so I'd like to say welcome to R2 after the weekend. We only got him for a brief amount of time, so we're gonna let him introduce him first. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I got a little bit of free time, so I wanted to come visit you all and hang out with you. Maybe I'll hear a little bit about tonight's topic.
Outstanding. And of course, we have Mr. JV. How's it going?
Oh, if I were anyone amazing, I'd be illegal.
Fair enough. And of course, we have some diversity here, Mr. Laurence Knight.
Hey, what do you mean diversity?
Don't make me play the clip.
See, you're a football player. It's in your blood. That's racist. Your soul. That's racist. Your eyes. That's gay. That's homophobic. That's black. That's racist.
All of that was cultural. All of that was cultural appropriation. Every last second of it.
No. And of course, more representation. Kat the Hijabi Gamer, who loves the Barbie movie.
I don't even like Barbie, let alone the Barbie movie. I think
she has not seen it. Just to be fair, She has not seen it. And of course, we got Tom and Zor. Hey, buddy.
Hello. I didn't watch the Barbie film. I pirated it, but I didn't watch it. The best I can say about it is at least they didn't fill it with ugly people.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's the best I can say about it.
That's a good point. And of course, we have Nomi. Hello, Nomi.
Hi. I thought we were backstage still, so sorry that I'm late.
No, you're fine.
They actually started about 4 minutes early.
Yeah, we started 4 minutes early.
Okay, so
I mean, Ryan's premature and all.
Yeah.
I know he's like a 2-second guy. So
hey, you know what? Sometimes you just can't help it. They move just right and it's over. And lastly, and certainly not least, welcome to our guest, Nadia, NerdDollface. Thank you for joining us for this Barbie discussion. The movie is a massive hit, and I wanted to put together a little bit of a panel of ladies, and we will have one more lady joining us. She's finishing up a work thing, but Lily 300 Mirrors will be here also. So hello, Nadia. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and I liked it. So I went to see it and I liked it. So I have a feeling I'm going to be the only one on this panel.
Vader.
Yes, but to be honest, I hate Barbie in general. So the fact that it's just a movie with Barbie alone, even without finding out the context of it, is, yeah, I'm not interested. I never liked Barbie.
Well, let's say hi to the chat real quick here. Larry, I did see your message last night, so I know you're first. And then, of course, we have Shadu saying, are you sure about that, Larry? Yes, he's sure.
Yes, he is.
Muggskins, what is...
Muggsy, I'm wearing that one of your hats. The guy from Nintendo even said it was an awesome hat.
That is an awesome hat, by the way. Muggskins says, happy Friday for this special event. I put on pants just for you. Wow. Wow, thank you for putting on pants. Behemoth, my pants are on the dresser. I don't think we needed an update on that. All right, Release the McCracken. What is going on? Release the McCracken. Dermy says Ryan is super gay.
True.
Not wrong. It's not wrong. Untamed Mando says, "Hail, what's up, buddy? How you doing?" Logical Fox says, "Hi, Pete."
That's a she.
That's a she.
It's a
sorry.
Yeah, Untamed Mando is a girl.
Sorry, my fault.
Never. Don't let it happen again.
Oh wow!
How dare you?
Wow, no, we putting him in his place.
Nomi,
I'll put him in his
coming
place
in
for sure.
swinging.
Yeah.
He's getting that Barbie energy going. In the
Just
beginning.
because I'm wearing a dress doesn't mean I'm not afraid to fight.
I can see that.
Yes,
I agree.
And I'm wearing my pearls too, because it is a
Earrings?
special occasions. Well, you
Earrings
can't
are-
see my earrings.
Why am I up here?
You can't see
I
my
don't know,
earrings,
because
but they're little
OCD. I get it.
I'm a little weird. I prefer to have the black squares on the bottom, and since I don't have my camera hooked up, I'm not doing it.
Wait a minute, what the hell do you mean black
That
squares?
sounded a little bit racist.
It has now begun. Here we go, folks.
And we're already
What
off.
did I walk into today?
Oh, we derail a lot on this.
I gotta confess
That's all
something. I broke into Kat's house earlier today.
You did?
I did. I stole this.
Wow.
Oh wow!
Hey, no, you're mistaken. I don't use the tubs. I go by the can.
Wait. You
have to buy the cans.
Warm.
Yep.
No.
And they're aged by 20 days before she eats them.
This is not wine. It does not get better with age. It's not like cheese. I'm just saying.
She's got a bathroom nearby.
Oh God.
According to her, according to Kat, it's completely fine.
It is. I haven't gotten sick once.
Untamed Mando
Well, you guys have weak stomachs.
is gonna be fabulous. Well, as long as somebody's fabulous. Logical Fox says, "Wow, hey Tom." Untamed Mando says, "Nomi."
Hi.
And Matt Vader, of course, says, "Nadia, did you forget the non-compete documents you signed?"
I didn't sign shit, Vader. So I don't know if swearing's allowed on this, but I didn't see the red M&Ms or the water from Italy in the green room for me either. So
hey Vader, fair use on Ryan's behalf. Fair use.
Fair use. Sniping is fair use. Kryptonian Jedi says, hello, everyone. What is up? And Untamed Mando says, Joker voice, Scissor brother.
Yes. That's a Roman of the Empire joke, so.
All right, that's all right.
I just had images I did not need to have in my head.
RT says,
Oh,
Matt Vader
there's
says
a
you have Nadia.
yeah, there's an image right there.
Wow,
That's their little gang sign.
Dermy says, body
I'm sure
positivity Barbie. Yes. Sup, Mr. J? The Bayou Geeks. Hello, everyone. What is up? Samuel the Infamous, who's usually on the panel. He cannot be here. Work is busy. He says, hail, motherfucking Royal Rumble.
No,
I
he
guess
didn't. He said Kenbull.
All right.
Ooh, and we got the most sultry voice on the internet now in the chat.
Oh,
That's
no.
right. Got Caucasian Sasquatch is there. Show me right.
Caucasian Sasquatch calls me specimen. Hello, Caucasian Sasquatch. Matt Vader says Barbie's gay.
I feel like he's gonna give me a bunch of crap Tuesday. I just feel it. I can just feel it radiating.
Oh, it's coming.
In the direction of wherever he lives near me, just radiating.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Let's show me you. I still haven't set up my camera, man. I don't have my camera set up yet. I'm waiting. I need to clear.
Sasquatch is going through withdrawals here.
I need to clear off desk space.
Wait, you need to clap? What?
Gotta tap that vein there.
So let's talk about the topic at hand. The
box office phenomenon.
I
box
know.
office
Did it
phenomenon.
hit did it pass a billion yet, or did it
No.
hit a billion yet?
It's
No.
supposed to by the end of the weekend, correct, JV?
Let me look. Let me check the numbers right now. Let me look at this real quick.
All right. Well, you look at that. I'm going to read this. The Hollywood Reporter, Barbie is about to be a $1 billion movie, but has no sequel in sight. Well, yeah, because everybody's on strike. Warner Brothers Barbie is an unabashed phenomenon, both as a movement and a pop culture movement. It is only days away from hitting $1 billion mark at the worldwide box office after crossing $900 million on Thursday.
I don't know what they're getting their numbers from because I've got numbers right here. I've got the Thursday numbers here because the numbers is a day behind, so they must be making a projection. But it says $828 million as of yesterday.
Okay.
Wow. And
Okay.
this is
Still.
just domestic, right?
What?
Is this just domestic?
No, this is total.
This is global. Global too.
Global.
Okay.
Now this
still
may be because a lot of the international numbers have not come in yet. So this is just to what I have right now. So international numbers can be a little late coming in, but regardless, this thing is a box office smash, which is, to be quite honest, good for the box office. It is good.
Yep.
This is a good thing. It is putting butts in seats. So
Yes, it is. And I've actually had time to kind of think about the movie. And I have actually probably changed my opinion slightly, but we're not here for my opinion. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of let and Lily's gonna be here soon. We're gonna kind of let the ladies lead the charge. So I would like to let hello Shadu.
Howdy. Wow, that light's horrible. Howdy. Sorry I'm late.
You're all right.
I'm not.
So
Why are you here?
Ken here?
Because I was invited, JV.
So I want to start with our guest Nadia. Explain to, I guess, what kind of explain overall why you liked it and maybe what you would rate the movie, and we'll kind of go from there.
Ooh, that's a good. So I went into this movie with no opinion on it. I didn't watch anyone's review on it. Stayed away from spoilers. I went in not biased, right? I'm just going in. I'm just going to watch this. And actually, Nomi had texted me the day before, said, "Just saw it. I think you're going to like it, but go see it for yourself." Went in. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought there was a lot of positive messages of motherhood towards the end of it. It reminded me a lot of getting Barbies when I was younger. You gotta remember, I am the oldest of 8. We're all girls down to my brother. We had a lot of Barbies in my house. There's a lot of little things like I did like the fact that they didn't have Barbie and Ken as a romantic relationship, because from my point of view, when I was playing with Barbies, we had like 100 Barbies and 1 Ken. There was no idea of romance or intimate relationship, so I kind of liked that point of it. Is there quite a few problems with it? Sure. But overall, it's a movie that I could turn my brain off and just enjoy it from start to finish. It actually made me cry, too, which I don't know if it's because I'm a woman, but mostly the whole aspect of the mother-daughter thing at the end, because I recently lost my mom, so a lot of emotions kind of flooded back. But overall, I enjoyed it. So I didn't see anything wrong with it. And the more I think about it, every time it's brought up, the more I like it, actually.
Okay. Real quick.
6.
That's not. Yes. 6 says I just joined. You can't be talking about Barbie. No, we're talking about Barbie. Because it's a box office juggernaut. Fletcher, this is what I want to highlight. Says stream a bit laggy. Is anybody else noticing that?
A little bit. Nadia or Nadine, I don't know if I'm wrong. She is definitely freezing a lot.
Is it me?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's you.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't happen for me until you guys brought it up, and now.
Well, you can just leave, so that's fine.
Wow.
He's the closest to Ken we have on the panel right
That
now.
is
I'm
very
giving
true.
a comment.
Stop inflating his ego.
There's nothing to inflate. What are you talking about, JV?
Oh,
So,
shut up.
All right.
Is my audio coming in a little bit better?
Yeah,
your
robot,
audio
but
is fine.
yeah.
I think it was
You're
just the
mostly
video.
Your
It's the
video is just
video.
choppy.
I think. Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do on my end.
Nadia, what would you rate the movie out of 10, or maybe out of 5, or whatever?
I give it a solid 8.
Okay.
Ooh, wow, you are kind.
Well, hey, teach their own. That's why she's here.
So if I may, I said this on a Roman's channel last night, and I think this is something that we've overlooked. Is I think that probably some of the box office, the reason this thing is a box office success, it appeals to a genre that we really haven't seen for over a decade. Chick flicks.
Chick flicks. Yep.
I would agree
knew
with
that's
that.
where you were going.
Oh.
Yep. And
But
mind you, I don't like rom-coms. Sorry, I don't like rom-coms. I don't like chick flicks. I am not a chick flick gal. But for some reason, this just stuck with me.
Well, this wasn't a rom-com or a chick flick.
Yeah.
Necessarily. This was a live action version of Frozen.
This is a chick flick, but it is a chick flick.
It is
No,
a chick flick.
it's not a traditional chick flick. It's a third wave feminism chick flick.
Yes.
There's no Prince Charming at the end. There's no traditional chick flick aspect.
You mean like how Bros was a gay rom-com?
Yes.
Like in that kind of mindset? Okay.
Okay, well, just kind of to get maybe another female's perspective. Nomi, obviously you've seen it. What would you, kind of the same direction for you, what were some of the overall things you liked about it, maybe things you didn't, and what would you ultimately probably rate it?
Wookie, goddamn.
Okay. So what I did like about it, same perspective as Nadia, is like it did have like a motherhood touch to it, where I had to talk to my mom. I was like, okay, like what did you expect when you became a mother, especially to 2 little girls? She gave me her perspective, and she said she had like the time of her life, and I value that because there's so many women out there who don't have mothers right now or didn't have a good mother figure. So it did tug at my heart, because that one did bring a lot of like memories. Like my mom, I remember playing Barbies with my mom because that was one of my core memories with that. Now, as far as the movie goes, I was entertained. I did like the dances, especially when the Kens get together and they start going at war with each other. that was the most entertaining that I've had in a chick flick movie. Now, I rolled my eyes a lot to the point where I almost saw my brain. Is when the daughter comes in and she starts yelling at Barbie that she is the reason why women can't succeed. She set a high standard that we have to look a certain way. We have to have a certain career, that she's a fascist and she's like this massive token of capitalism. That's where I got annoyed. Like, that's absolutely disgusting and not true of Barbie. Yeah, a woman can be anything what she wants to be and set her career out, but you don't have to attack a woman for her to follow her goals. And I rolled my eyes. I think the further I could get as possible is when they started bringing up the patriarchy. I thought it was redundant. It's not creative.
How many shots did you take?
About 13 shots. Because that's how much
Did
I
you
counted.
walk afterwards?
I didn't drive, I'll tell you that.
All right, that's fair.
That's where I'm like, okay, this lacks creativity, that they could have written it a different way of like, okay, like, we're so oppressed by men. I don't think women were never oppressed by men at all. And when Barbie goes back to Barbie Land and it's Ken's Dojo, Mojo, Casa House. Yeah, and it's Kendom. Like, I kind of want to live there. That looks like fun, where the Barbies looked happy to hang out with the men and they had relationships. I was like,
But we can't have that, Ken.
Yeah,
but we can't have that in Barbie
I just
Land.
want to know, where's body positivity Ken? We have every Ken being perfect. I'm just saying, in terms of a cultural commentary, Ken's
I
have
got
to be
what you're
perfect,
saying.
but body positivity Barbie's there. Like, you had that. There was no. So my point is, and what I'm saying is, I don't think the movie's good for current cultural relationships in terms of people, because you're putting one's allowed to have normal standards, and the other one's allowed to have unrealistic standards, and Ken is an accessory. Is current dating right now. Like, guys are seeing his resumes and accessories. So we have a movie that people are lauding for reinforcing their own personal beliefs about current society. So it's, I just don't.
I agree, Tom.
On top of that, they're saying that people are actually breaking up over this movie, which is dumb.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that guy's dodging a bullet then.
Definitely.
And you know
They've
what?
got deeper relationship problems if they're breaking up over a movie.
Yeah, and to go
Barbie.
with Kat, like, good for him that he's leaving her. Like, if she thinks
No,
she has
she's
this
leaving him. She's leaving him.
No, he's leaving her to make a better version of himself. And yes, R2, what's up?
I think Lily's trying to jump in, so I'm gonna drop out since I'm sure she'll have better input than me.
Aww.
But it was wonderful hanging out with you all tonight, and I will watch you guys from YouTube. So take care. Have a good night.
It was good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, nice seeing you too. Take care.
Yeah.
And this is and now, are there some positive aspects to this film? Sure, the production design is stellar. The costume design is stellar. Those sets are ridiculous. Hi, Lily.
Hello. So it's like
Hi,
Force
Lily.
Awakens. It's the Barbie Force Awakens. Good production value, great trailer, and
great marketing. The marketing was amazing.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Because it made you think you were walking into a fun, silly comedy with maybe a tinge of female empowerment. That was not what the product was. This was a man dumping gender studies rant packaged in a pink box with a pretty pink bow and glitter all over it.
Without Oppenheimer and without the Barbenheimer memes, I don't think this movie would have done as well as it did. And I also think if there was any other competitions besides a heady, true movie of Oppenheimer, you would be having, like, if Mission Impossible came out against Barbie. But I think if it actually came out as counter programming to Barbie instead of Oppenheimer, I think it would have done better. I think the fact that it came out before people were out of school hurt Mission Impossible. And
I will also say that this film is is helping the Oppenheimer film because it is still paired as this Barbenheimer.
Yeah, like what happened with Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing. Same shit's going on here.
So Lily, welcome.
Yeah, they actually asked.
By the way, I rated it 6.5.
Oh, sorry, Nomi.
I didn't rate it, so yeah. Like Lily, yes, input. Girl, go ahead.
Lily.
Sorry.
My rating?
Okay, so
your thoughts.
What were your thoughts? What did you like about the movie? What did you not like? What would you probably rate it out of 10 or maybe out of 5? You know, what did you feel like coming out of it?
Really disappointed. Like I had already kind of watched everybody's reviews, so I was aware of what I was getting myself into, but then actually watching the movie, it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of weird. It was worse than I expected, but I also didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to hate it. But I think that had a lot to do with Ryan Gosling. He was like the entire saving grace for this entire movie. Like my theater was a pretty good mix of like women and then like the husbands with the women, and of course some people took their kids. No one laughed. No one was laughing at anything. And I took my niece. So she's 19 and both of us were just laughing at like how ridiculous everything kind of was. And most of the laughs were just coming from Ryan Gosling, from Ken, because everything else was just kind of like, I don't know. I was having like some kind of like internal crisis. Like, is this really happening? Am I really watching this and not liking it?
And I had the opposite theater where I had tons of people laughing, tons of like generations of like grandmothers, mothers, daughters together, girls' nights out. I went with my husband. He hated it, but I liked it. Smart. But I had the opposite effect of you, Lily, where tons of laughing throughout the whole theater.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were all just kind of like shocked. I think I heard more people going like, oh, what? More than anything. It was so weird. And then as far as my rating, I don't know. That's kind of tricky. Like the movie itself without Ryan Gosling in it, I would give it a 0. It was a waste of my time.
Oh wow!
So you should have just went on YouTube and looked up a Ryan Gosling little like compilation clip, and you would have gotten the same thing.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like I could have done with everything else. It just I grew up with Barbie. That was my favorite toy growing up, and to me, it was such a disappointment because this wasn't Barbie. It wasn't Barbie at all. And then it's so weird because they're trying to give this impression that little girls never played with Ken, but I had a bunch of Kens. All of my friends that I would get together with to play with, we all had Kens. And that was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
I can interject, Lily. I wasn't allowed to have Kens growing up. And you know what I did?
Really?
Yeah. Because I was super homeschooled, raised in a very strict Pentecostal
religious
household. Yes. And I was not allowed to have Ken Barbie. So what I did is I stole my brother's G.I. Joes. That was my Ken. And that was a good representation of men, like men going
2
to war.
inches versus.
They had more muscles on them, didn't they?
Yeah, more muscles, better careers.
Can I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask the females one question.
Go ahead, Tom. Shoot.
Go for it.
And one question. The end of the movie. I know what the end of the movie is. So, do you find it offensive? Because it almost seems like it's a trans allegory at the end of the movie, where you have someone that has no gender being given a gender. Like, I'm just curious.
I didn't find it offensive. I found it stupid. I found it was so idiotic to hear that. I didn't fall into the gender ideology thing because I didn't see that. I mean, people have different perspectives, but what I hated the most is that when she comes into Barbie or the real world with Ken, and she approaches these construction workers, and she's asking them a question, and they're catcalling her, and she feels uncomfortable. She's like, "By the way, we do not have this. We are not a stereotypical man and female, we have no genitalia. And at the end where she says, I'm here from a gynecologist, like, then what the heck was that statement about for you saying not having genitalia? You're like,
well, my point is, isn't she going to get something put in? So the point is she's picking her gender at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. She wouldn't go to a gynecologist for that.
I didn't take it that way. I took it more because you transition from this montage of mothers and daughters, and she decides she wants to live in the real world and, you know, experience life. To me, it was like a step towards. It's a stupid joke, but to me, it looked like a step towards. Okay, I'm going to go to the gynecologist, make sure everything's okay, so that I could have this life. I could have children. I could maybe, you know, become a mother in a sense. That's what I took it from, not from it going from like a genderless to choose your gender. Just more to be like making sure all the parts are working so that she could be a mom.
See, just to interject real quick, that's actually how I took it. When she decided to become real, I took it that she was kind of bestowed with everything she needed for the real world, and it was her first trip to the gynecologist because now she's a real woman. I didn't take it as now I know there are people who took it as like maybe it was like, you know, a whole trans allegory, but I didn't see it that way. So I kind of agree with Nadia on that. Lily, what did you kind of take it that way, or?
I kind of took it that way too, just because I noticed, like she said, the whole montage with the moms and the daughters and everything, which I liked, but the problem is that the rest of the movie wasn't really about that.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been a good ending if they had shown like motherhood and all of that to be a more positive thing. Because even the relationship between the mom and the daughter, I don't know. I never really thought that it got better. They just went to Barbie Land and forgot they hated each other.
Yeah.
So to me, that would have been a great ending if the entire time they hadn't been making fun of Midge. And then at the beginning where the narrator tells you like, oh yeah, it's great to be a mom. Well, sometimes ask your moms. I was like, what the heck does that even mean?
Yeah, that one actually did piss me off a little bit. It's like,
yeah, what? I was like, yes, raising children is difficult, but ask any mom if she would trade being a mother. No.
Yeah. Yeah, because like my mom sacrificed like her whole life for us. Like my parents are from Mexico. My parents literally gave up everything for us to have a better life over here. And then for that to be in a movie, like ask your mom, see if she likes it. It's like she does. She does. She loves it. Like she loves when I go and get her and like we go get coffee and we just shop around. That's what she thrives for. So yes, like, I know there are women out there who don't want to be moms. That's fine, by all means. That is your life, but you can't speak on behalf of my mom.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like all of that leading up to the end, I was like, this makes no sense. These are like two different movies that you're trying to present to me. There was this like underlying, yes, feminism is bad and like everybody should be equal, blah, blah, blah. But then at the surface level, you're giving me all this other stupid crap that I was like, what is this?
Yeah. JV, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, and kind of going on what you two gals said, that the motherhood, the montage at the end would be fine if from the opening 30 seconds they weren't completely undercutting that. Mm-hmm. I mean, from the word jump, there are little girls smashing baby dolls.
Yes.
And the other thing, sorry, finish your point, JB.
And I've heard folks say that try to say that have been trying to say that, oh, Barbie was never a feminist thing anyway. Yeah, she was. She came out in 1959, which was right before the Equal Pay Act and the Civil Rights Act. So she was absolutely a feminist piece. Mm-hmm. That is absolute truth. Cannot escape that. and I'm going to go take a little break. So I will be right back, folks.
No worries.
So, though I would just add this. I mean, you could bring up the whole trans allegory thing. I just found it interesting that these are the people who talk about diversity most. And if anybody knows me, I never generally. It's not an issue for me. But these people talk about diversity, inclusivity, and all that other kip. And yet you have a trans woman, but there's a Barbie doll in hijab, and you couldn't put the Muslim Barbie in hijab. I mean, you know me, I'm not the type who needs to see myself on screen. I'm just saying it's interesting. You have the supposed trans Barbie, who's the guy as a woman, but you couldn't bring the Muslim.
Barbie.
But you couldn't bring in a. It exists. There are Barbie in hijab, and you couldn't bring that in.
Well, the other thing is, going off of what JV said, the first Barbie was a girl in a swimsuit. Like, as much as you want to say that's a feminist doll, it's also like countering that movement at the same time by putting the first Barbie ever as thin, attractive girl in a black and white swimsuit.
Not necessarily, Tom, because back in the day, like for example, if you look at like the 1920s, women wearing looser clothing, cutting their hair, basically more or less
copied a Playboy
sexualizing
cover.
clothes.
It copied a Playboy cover.
That was
I didn't know that part, but like going off the 1920s as an example, removing restrictive clothing was seen as freeing for women as the ability to become more independent. I don't know enough about like the Joker said 1952, right?
1959.
1959. I don't know enough about
German-made doll, actually.
Yeah, I don't know enough about clothing styles from that period to really comment on that, but I actually did have a question for the people who did see this movie. Did it, from the sound of it, like, because people are bringing up like the ending had like good parts, but like the beginning and the middle had issues. Did it feel like the movie was stitched together? Like you had one director's vision at one point and then a different director's vision at a different point?
Yeah, I agree to that. Like, definitely stitched in, because Lily said it earlier. It's like, okay, like you have this positive message, but next thing it's just like, by the way, this, that. Like, okay, like you're kind of contradicting yourself what you just said earlier.
Yeah.
So
I'm mostly asking because it was, sorry, Lily.
And then that's the thing too, is that it does seem like it's two different movies put together, that the people who like it are taking one version of it and the people who don't like it are taking the other version of it. And I think that's what's going on. Everyone that's like, oh no, this is a good movie, like it's a good message, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what? Like, what are you watching?
Yeah. So like, that's why I said, like, I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. But it's just, it was just kind of confusing, because there's parts where like, all right, yeah, I like that part. And then there's like, you really have to add that in there? Like, did you not watch the first 5 minutes of this?
And then there were parts that I was even falling asleep, like during all the parts with the Mattel executives and whatever.
Yeah.
Why were they even there? I was falling asleep.
Yeah, that bit kind of annoyed me a lot. Just like, what was the purpose of that? I mean, I know they're just not projecting, but kind of making it known where, men rule the world, men run Mattel, so men know better what to do with Barbie dolls versus women.
Whereas Mattel was president for 30 years, was a woman, and half of the board are women right now. So,
And what's going on with a lot of companies being run by women right now? I'm just saying. Like, Lucasfilm ain't doing a great job.
Nadia's back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. Hopefully restarting my router helped. It doesn't help that I live out in the middle of the desert.
No, absolutely. No, I completely understand internet issues. So, if you need to turn your camera off, you're more than welcome to, if that helps you. I don't know. I mean, it's all good. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Lily, were you saying something?
No, it was just the part about the Mattel executives. Like I'm telling you, this whole movie felt like it was 2 different, maybe even 3 different movies. It just, I don't know, it didn't make sense to me. That's why I'm like, okay, a little confused, because I'm like, okay, I didn't hate it, but I also didn't like it. And this wasted my time. Like, I didn't need to see this.
Yeah.
And if you do just a little digging, they represented the Mattel wrong, because if you actually look at the board of Mattel, it's a 50-50 split between men and the women.
Yeah, Kat was just mentioning that.
Yeah, also the fact that the president for 30 years was a woman from 1945.
Ruth Handler was the on Mattel's board and created Barbie. Like, if you're gonna make this correct, then you should have not done the fake male bad guy.
No, but she's also from 1945, a time when you wouldn't even have thought a woman would have been in that. But no, 1945 to like 1974, she was president of Mattel. So it's not like 1990; it's 1945.
And the executive in charge of the Mattel Films and Entertainment is a woman. So
I actually kind of have a question about what was said just a few minutes ago. Do you ladies think that maybe that this movie was actually kind of meant to be two different things spliced together? JV, do we know about and after that, do we know about any rewrites that happened or anything? Is there any report on that?
Not that I know of. According to, and this is a hunch, that this film, at least in large part, was just the script of the Amy Schumer Barbie project that was that was supposed to be in 2016.
Okay. Calvin Newman brought that up in the chat.
Also, there was a battle with Mattel over the script. So Greta and Noah did have a lot of issues with Mattel over the strip during the writing process. So I'm assuming there was definitely some brand interference, I would guess.
Okay. Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, because from the sound of it, like from a wide array of people, I've basically heard this movie described in three ways. The first way is that it's like a third, fourth wave feministy thing, destroying men, bashing men, and trying to raise up women as like the superior gender. I've heard that it's a good story about the genders being equal and about women having their role and about men having their role. And then I've heard from an even smaller minority that it's a film about Ken learning to be like a masculine guy, like finding his place in the world and going on his own adventure and becoming, for using the word people have been using, like a Sigma or an Alpha Chat or Red Pilled. And it's like, this can't be the same movie. These sound completely different, and yet apparently it's the same movie.
But the problem with that third theory is at the end of the film, the Kens are in the exact same place when the film started.
Don't they have a Kenland?
No. There's a little part in the middle of the film that they have the Casa Dojo, but the problem
I'm not sure about that, because I was told they get like their own little land at the end.
No.
So Ken should have been the hero. I do agree with that. Ken should have had his arc, because if Ken was the accessory and you were making this movie smart and you're trying to subvert expectations, and you have Barbie being Barbie and you have Ken being what would be the reverse of prior patriarchal gender roles, and saying, all right, well, Ken is being the female and Barbie's being the male, and at the end of the movie you get people seeing both sides of the story by Ken having his revolution in the film, that would have been a better, smarter written film that maybe would have had more nuanced conversations between people. Like, that makes sense to me, more so than Ken being in the same spot and Barbie getting to somehow have her Pinocchio real woman moment and coming out into the real world, which is even more disturbing than anything else.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
And then,
he was sitting right next to me too.
And then a point to that also, that when I was watching this, it made men and women, man, because the reason why Barbie wants to go to the real world is to look for the little girl that's playing with her, right? Why? Because she's getting cellulite, her feet are flat, she's going to get ugly, she's going to turn into weird Barbie, right? And then when Ken goes to the real world, what's the first thing he does? He goes to the library. He starts learning. He wants to go get a job. Like, do you see how they just misrepresented women like really badly?
Yeah.
And
she was still chasing. Go ahead, JV.
And what is the thing that prompted Ken to go seek out the patriarchy?
Someone finally gave him attention.
A woman asked for him for the time.
Yeah, and he's like, "You respect me."
Yeah.
He was shocked by that. Like, guys need attention too.
and when Barbie goes back to Barbie Land, like Nomi said, everyone was happy.
Yes.
Everyone was smiling.
You
Everyone
could
was happy.
see subtle, like, satirical nods to saying, like, "Hey, do you notice that what we're doing right now is not good?" Like, and there is some like red pill stuff in here. There's some like manosphere stuff,
agree.
like the compliment. Guys getting compliments are rare. So Ken actually having respect in that compliment moment, guys get that. Like, every guy here probably remembers his first compliment from a girl. You know that it remembers. It's like ingrained, like outside of your like family. So I think there is things of that, but then it's just bashed over and ruined by the end.
And Tom, I might agree with you that there are some satire moments, except the director, her subject matter of choice is women's oppression.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm just saying she's not smart enough, and she might have accidentally realized
accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally made some hilariously odd satirical comments that if you read it the right way, and again, it's the audience, but I'm hearing this from FNT, I'm hearing this from Midnight's Edge, you're getting different perspectives basing on your personal experience watching the film. Everyone's getting a different viewpoint. You're getting girl power from certain females, you're getting whatever. What is it, Twinker Bell? Or sorry, Twinker Ken. But I don't know. I watched it pirated. I fast forwarded. I actually like the first like 20 or 30 minutes. Like, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
That was fine because had that film been that for another hour, like I said, cute, silly, family friendly, this film would have been fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah. And if you put it where America Ferrera came into the world originally in the film and had the fish out of water that way, instead of Barbie going in the real world, and then seeing how well she has it in the real world compared to Barbie world, or seeing the differences. I also feel like the father, I hate dads being an afterthought in media now. Like, I'm sorry, I know, Nadia, you said you like that there wasn't no romance. We kind of want that. We want the idea of traditional stuff.
Yeah, I do. I wanted that.
My point was
found someone in the real world also. Like, Ken should have found someone and gotten like his little girl on the side or something.
Nadia, go ahead. What you were going to say something.
My point wasn't romance. My point was I'm looking at it from a point of view of who plays with Barbies, and that tends to be, I don't know, what's the cutoff age? 7 or younger, maybe a little bit around that age.
I stopped playing at 13.
Yeah, me too. I was like 12, 13 when I stopped playing with them.
But the concept of like intimacy, like a romantic intimacy, doesn't happen at that age, hopefully. So when you're playing with Barbie and Ken, they are, they might be married, they might be a couple, and I use this in quotation, but there's not an intimacy romance in there. And that's what I like, that they didn't just like automatically say, okay, Barbie and Ken are going to hook up, they're going to have a romantic, intimate relationship. Because for me, it's looking at it from a point of view of when a child plays with these dolls, they don't have that concept. Hopefully, they don't have that concept of intimacy.
Yeah, and
I'm pretty sure the Ken doll would be kissing her at least, or something like that. If they were married, doing that.
But I meant like boyfriend and girlfriend. Like the line he said about, "Hey, I want to come over." Or so, I forgot what the line was.
Can I spend the night? Yeah, she's like, why?
Can I spend the night? And she's like, why? Because we're boyfriend and girlfriend. She's like, but girls' night. But I'm like, there's not a concept of like intimacy, like sexual relationship.
They didn't have to add that in there, which I thought that was funny when that interaction happened, because yes, you're right, kids aren't thinking about the intimacy, But I remember being 6 and 7 and having little crushes already. I didn't necessarily know, like, you know, when you grow up and have all this like grown up stuff.
Yeah.
But that's when you're starting to have your little crushes and you're like, oh my gosh, I like that little boy, but I don't know why.
JB?
So that's what I was expecting from it at least. But no, like Barbie was just so mean to him, like all the whole movie.
So, ladies, since I never played with these, I'm just going to ask: wasn't Ken always marketed as Barbie's boyfriend?
Yes.
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 So I came from a house like Nomi where I had a very strict Middle Eastern father. So the concept of boyfriends never really existed in my house. So I had one Ken, but I had tons and tons of different Barbies. And I can remember like awkwardly laying them down somehow and my dad getting mad about that because they were in an awkward position. And Nomi could attest to it. Like a Catholic Middle Eastern father similar to like I'm sure what Nomi grew up with. So and I don't remember him being marketed as a boyfriend or even a husband to Barbie, but I just always knew that they were partners. In a sense. Like her counterpart. I don't remember. The counterpart to it, but I don't remember ever being like, "Hey, this is Barbie's boyfriend." But I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, well, first off, I don't know if it's pretty obvious, but yeah, strict Muslim family. I'm very conservative Muslim, very strict Muslim too. But I remember, I never played with Barbie. I never cared for it. But even I could say, yeah, they were definitely marketed as boyfriend and girlfriend.
In 61, he was marketed as Barbie's viable boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the marketing. His viable, which makes it even sound worse. Like viable, his boyfriend. Like I'm just saying. But like
he doesn't have a choice. He's coming along.
And
I also
to be
never
honest,
bought my own. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say to all going along. Also, there was a big pushback from families for there to be a Ken for Barbie, to have a husband or boyfriend figure so like I think that was looking at just the history of it. It was introduced 2 years later, but by a big groundswell push for there to be a spouse or boyfriend figure. It was never like, oh, this is just Ken separate. It was always Ken was Barbie's boyfriend.
I would say too, also at that age, I did not buy my Barbies. My mom bought my Barbies. So for me, I wouldn't know going out that this is Barbie's boyfriend. I mean, if I bought it myself, maybe I would, or saw the marketing, but my Barbies were always bought by my parents to give to me and my sisters.
Yeah.
And there was, I think I'm looking at the article because this wrote from Time Magazine way back when they had like Barbie article. Ken was made in response to over 20,000 letters complaining that Barbie was single. So she had to be. She had to be.
So this now makes sense when Greta and actors are saying that this film is going to push gender norms or societal norms.
Because Ken was there to make it sure that Barbie was a societal norm. They did not like her being a single female in the 50s or the 60s.
Wasn't Barbie like the I forgot why can't I think of who played her right now? Margot Robbie. Wasn't her Barbie considered the like generic Barbie in the group of them?
Stereotypical
Barbie. Like she's the standard Barbie out of all of them.
She represents when someone says Barbie, that is what you think of.
I do have a question for everybody who've seen it. What would you consider Alan then? Because to me, Alan kind of represents men nowadays who are like pro-feminism, pro-women, kind of, you know, I feel Alan in a sense is a little bit more of, I hate to say this word, but like a simp more than Ken.
Yeah.
I look
in the movie.
Okay, wait. I'm just gonna have to say, if you think about it, Alan, in terms of the history of Barbie, I'm a big toy person, so I know about that. He was discontinued pretty quickly. Whatever. He was discontinued pretty quickly. He was only made because it was the son-in-law of the company for Mattel, and they made a doll to have Alan be a toy.
Okay.
That was it. So there's no big storyline. 66, it was done.
I know.
They stopped making
Yeah.
it.
I do.
But until later, that's the thing that they didn't put into the movie, is that they brought in Alan later, and he was actually Midge's husband.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
interesting.
So that's why that was a very interesting choice, because they could have had a happy family in Barbie Land, but they chose not to.
Real quick, I want to highlight this.
Wait.
Hold on, I want to highlight
Ken's
this from
friend that's so funny.
Clue. Quote: "You're an accessory, Lotso to Ken in Toy Story 3."
Ooh.
I mean, was Lotso wrong?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Was he
And
wrong?
And I look at Alan.
Actually, Alan's the accessory because the marketing for him in '64 when he was released, Ken's friend who can fit in Ken's clothes.
Yeah,
I remember that, watching the backstage about the movie and
I looked at Ken
highlighting that. Yeah.
as far as the film goes. As far as the film, Alan was a soy boy.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat called him in the friend zone, and I could see that too.
Yeah.
Or an orbiter. I could see him being an orbiter. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, like, one of them is pregnant, right? There is a pregnant.
Midge. Yeah,
Midge.
Midge.
Okay. So we're okay with there being a pregnant Barbie. Then they had relations, so you knew the kids know something happened, but we can't have the romance between Ken and Barbie.
Well, here's the thing, because there was kids who had mothers being pregnant when they were growing up. Like, I don't remember my mom being pregnant with my sister because my sister and I are a year apart. But there's girls who are out there who are like, yeah, I remember my mom being pregnant. So, of course, there's going to be a representation of a pregnant Barbie.
No,
So,
I understand that. But I'm just saying, if you have a pregnant Barbie in there, the fact that there wasn't more in the bar, I'm guessing this is her mind playing this. So she's in a kind of a broken household or not a traditional household, which means is why Ken and Barbie are not together in a traditional way.
Yeah.
Well,
I never had a pregnant Barbie as a kid, so
I guess their excuse in the movie is because they tell you when the narrator goes to her, she's like, "Oh, and that's Mitch, but we don't talk about her. She got discontinued," or something like that.
Shadow, what's up?
So there's a pregnant Barbie, but they don't have genitals. How the fuck did that happen? Unless it was always
I think that's why it was discontinued.
Movie magic.
Yeah,
Like, was that Barbie always pregnant?
Well, I think she was discontinued because a lot of people were under the impression that Barbie was a teenager.
Yeah,
and they thought that all of her friends were teenagers. So when Midge came out, they thought that was promoting teenage pregnancy. So they discontinued her.
But
so this is a character that was always pregnant. It's not like, okay, never.
No, she's not always pregnant. She had like this little thing where you could remove her stomach and the baby was inside it.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
I did chuckle when. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nadia.
Nadia, go.
Oh, sorry. I know. I did chuckle when Will Ferrell's character dropped into Barbie Land and he turns around and he goes, Midge, like freaked out about it. That did make me
I hate Will Ferrell. Cannot stand him. He's
I like Will
not
Ferrell.
funny. Oh,
I like
because you're gay.
certain Will Ferrell movies.
There's
Step
not
Brothers is
one.
probably my favorite.
No.
Yeah.
Awful.
Wait, was Will Ferrell the voice of Megamind?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good
yes,
movie.
I think so.
I like Will Ferrell then.
So no. So I actually was so annoyed about Will Ferrell being in it because he's always playing this blundering idiot.
Yeah.
Who's like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing because I'm a businessman. And he did the same
Just low-hanging fruit.
And here's the thing. I think the Barbie movie and the Lego movie are the same thing. I think they're the same movie. It's
But
just
the
like,
Lego movie has a wholesome ending that has a good.
Well, that's true.
value
Yeah,
to it.
that's true.
And you also have people that learn things. I don't think that this family is in a better position at the end of this movie.
No.
That's the problem. There's no change.
Yeah. It's
It
the
reminds me. Sorry, Nadia.
But what I was
No,
gonna go
it's
like, what I was gonna say about like it being the same movie, like Will Ferrell also played Lord Business Plan in the Lego movie. He is this high executive business
No, he was the
person.
dad. He was the dad
Well,
building
he was
Legos
also
in
the
his basement.
Yeah, and I
He
did
also
like the
voiced
ending.
Lord Business.
That's
Yeah,
what I
but
said, Shadow.
the dad wouldn't let the kid play with the Legos, so that's why he was the bad guy.
It's a different concept. This isn't the mom not letting the girl play with the Barbies.
Yeah. Now, I did like the ending of the Lego movie where Will Ferrell is the dad. He's like, you know what? Yeah, okay, like, go ahead, let's play together. They had a bonding moment. But when I was going to go by the thing of Will Ferrell being the high executive for Mattel and then being Lord Business Plan, he's this blundering idiot who's like, well, yeah, like, I'm special because I'm a man, or I am the special, or the special is nothing, and I have control, and I want to be set in order. So kind of like in Barbie Land, like, it has to be set in order by Barbie standards, not by Ken's standards. That's just like where I'm getting at. But yes, JV, you had something you wanted to add to.
So there's a film that was a few years ago that deals with feminism and patriarchy that is fun, silly, and at the end of the day is a positive the message for girls, for little girls and the women. Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde? Yep.
Yeah.
I knew that's exactly where you were going.
That was Barbie.
I don't know. I never
like
liked that
15 years
movie.
old.
I thought it was stupid because it was. I mean, no, it was creative. Let me correct that. It was creative. It was well done. But at the same time, keep in mind, she won that case totally by chance. Like, it happened to be that she noticed that he was gay. When it really came down to it.
But that's still a lawyer thing to do. Reading a defendant that's still a lawyer maneuver. Being able to read people. I don't think that's
because there's different kinds of intelligence. There's like street smarts. There's book smarts.
Fashion smarts.
Fashion smarts. If she wouldn't have known that, she wouldn't have won the case.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
And
it was kind of telling you, like, look, you have this woman who's a lawyer, but she's also fashionable. She's also super girly, but she's a lawyer, and it's okay to be both.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. I'm just saying
Vinny, when she notices the car thing.
Okay. Hold on real quick. I have to interject on this one because we're getting way off base here. Legally Blonde came out in 2001. That thing is 23 years old.
That's a good.
Right.
No, I mean,
hold on, Kat. Hold on. That thing is 23 years old. We can't compare a movie that's 23 years old to a movie that came out 4 months. I'm sorry, a month and a half ago. It just doesn't. It doesn't work that direction. It's like apples and oranges at this point. And I know that I really feel like this movie was written and spliced together in two different ways. I think in one aspect, it was supposed to be this intersectional fourth wave feminism garbage that added Amy Schumer. But then I think there was probably later on they tried to rewrite it to try to make it a little more satirical. And I think they meshed it together weirdly to where it doesn't exactly fit the story it's supposed to be telling. Because I'll say this: the daughter, when she calls Barbie a fascist, that's satirical. That's not serious.
Yeah.
That's what every dumbass teenager in today's world, calls everything that they don't like.
Yeah.
And
it's like the
literally,
Batman line in Blue Beetle.
What's that? Yeah. What were we going to say, Nadia? You're going to say something real quick.
No, I would agree with you. I think she's just a satire on what teenagers are today. Just, they just repeat whatever they hear on, is it Twitter or X, whatever you call it now. They just repeat anything they hear about stuff. They don't actually read and research and do the research behind things they say. They just repeat stuff because they think it's cool and they want to fit in.
So let me just say, first off, the fact that you're saying we can't compare them, one thing we can't compare is it shows how much feminism has gone downhill. Because I will say, Legally Blonde, yes, it's a good example of a woman who's all girly, who does well. I guess it's just my obsession with detail where I'm like, do I really think she would have made it through law school after being kind of not that? On the other hand, now that I think back, she actually was pretty smart because she did manage to do very well on her LSATs after pushing herself to it. So stand corrected. I'm just not a big chick flick person anyway. But no, that's a good example of feminism. So it shows how we've gone downhill on the road of feminism to now man bad.
Yeah.
Best man is man who wants to be a woman.
I think I think this movie actually took pot shots, in my opinion, um, in at feminism and the whole patriarchy crap at the end of the movie, because literally Ruth says when she's talking to Barbie before she goes to the real world that and I think this is the defining moment. This is the defining point of the movie, that human being, because life is hard and things are hard for human beings, they make up words like patriarchy and and Barbie to try to cope with that. And I think that's what they were getting at, is that I think it started out with the whole Amy Schumer thing. It was supposed to be this fourth way feminist nightmare, and then I think they tried to like play it up to be a little more a little more comedic, a little more satirical, and then they tried to round it off with this whole point, because I do actually think that the mom and the daughter end up better than they were in the first place. Is the dad not really in the movie? No, he's not. But at the same time, the father's not. He's not projected to be this giant dunce. He's not portrayed as a bad father. He's still he's still there. He's still a good father. He is present, even though he wasn't a part of their journey to Barbie Land, so to speak. And I think that is a big step in the right direction, because look at how many films bastardize an actual father being good. Most portray. Look at the MCU. I mean, fathers are portrayed as absentee. Or pieces, or bad fathers. They mistreat their children, and it's like, so.
What
Yeah, but
MCU thing are you saying is a bad father that mistreats your children? I'm very lost by that.
The MCU
I can't think of a single MCU father who was bad. Like Odin, okay, maybe you could argue that point. Hank Pym and Scott Lang.
Howard Stark is a good father.
Yeah, Tony Stark hated his father.
Yeah, but that's because of his own thing, not because of what Howard did. And everything that Howard did in other movies projected him as a good father.
Cassie Lang literally chastised Scott Lang for not, for not being better after saving the universe.
Okay,
and
you're talking about
MCU.
You're talking about fourth wave MCU. Like, because
okay, but that's still more relevant than anything previously mentioned.
Nadia.
Well, the point about that though, Ryan, is yes, the father is present, but can you name one?
Just like Ken.
Can you name one man in this entire movie who was actually smart? That wasn't goofy. Because the dad was like super goofy too. They showed him to be very silly, which is fine. It's fine, except that they didn't portray any of these men positively. None of them.
Yeah. Okay, but did they portray him as a bad father?
No,
but he's not like
the silence right there answers my question. If you can't say yes and give me something to defend him, then he's not a bad father. He may be
He's an absentee father.
I don't think he's an absentee or dumb father. It's just more of like he's kind of like pushed to the side because like obviously the mom's the working one.
Like, I'm not saying he's a bad dad. I'm not saying anything about like him personally because we didn't really get to see any of him really. Yeah. I'm just saying that they portrayed him every time he was on screen was goofy because he was trying to learn Spanish.
Yeah, so that's why I thought that when I saw that I thought that was just like he's a white man trying to learn Spanish. America Ferrera is Hispanic. And side note, her husband is from El Paso, which is where I'm from. But he was using Duolingo and he's using the basic words like, I can't remember what he said. He's like, ¿Cómo estás? Like very white way to say it. But yeah, they try to portray him as like,
but he should have already known the language because he was there with the kid, and like they have a family. He should have already been speaking.
I mean, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to know Spanish. That's actually making him more shallow of a character than he already is.
If anything, I thought that's like amazing of him to like learn Spanish. That he married this Hispanic beautiful woman, and he's taking his time to like learn Spanish, which is her native tongue or something. Because I don't know her background story.
Well, I mean,
maybe they're going on a trip. They want to learn. He wants to learn Spanish so he can, speak the language wherever they're going.
And the very next scene when they get off the phone, both the mother and the daughter kind of eye roll as like saying he is useless.
Yeah,
I did see that too.
Mm-hmm.
But if that was my husband, I would take so much pride in that. And by the way, just as like my little thing, I love it when white guys speak Spanish. That's not their native tongue to me. The first time
quesadilla, chimichanga.
Nomi, then go to Spain. You'd love it there.
No, okay, so like true story. I was in Los Angeles. I witnessed a little boy getting hit by a car, and I waited, and the paramedics who showed up, and I remember it was this stunning, good-looking white guy, piercing blue eyes, and he spoke fluent Spanish, and that blew me away.
You melted.
Yeah,
you melted.
I melted. And yeah, so like if that was a guy who's like willing to dedicate to know my native tongue too, I'd appreciate that. I would love that. And yeah, we can go on vacations to Mexico or something where he's trying to make an effort to like, show that he does value me and appreciate me.
And then that just proves in the movie that he's not dumb, because learning another language is difficult.
It is.
And the fact that he's trying is something admirable, and they're just like eye rolling at him.
I didn't say he was dumb. I said that he was written like every other TV sitcom dad for the past 5 years, where they're a fool or look to be weak or look to be beta. They can't be the head of the household. They can't be seen as strong. They can't be seen as traditionally masculine. How awesome would it have been for Ken to see this good real world example of what a man is supposed to be, and that be the father of the kid. So you have a example of one decent guy, besides being someone that in all likelihood is the second husband after the lady gets the kid from the Chad, and he's the banker that has a good job, and the beta that can give her his heart and doesn't care about the kid that isn't his.
Cavalry men.
I'm just saying.
It was kind of a missed opportunity not to have the dad go with them to Barbie Land.
Yeah.
And he would have been a Ken. He was an accessory. He was the real world embodiment of Ken.
Well, that too, but like I think he would have been like, "Hey, I have a say in this too. Like I kind of see his perspective, like Ken's perspective. This looks fun. Everybody looks like they're having a good time. So versus like him, like like spending time on Duolingo to learn a new language, but like also feeling like he's valued. Like, hey, you do respect me. Hey, like I am valued." So I don't know. It could have gone many different ways with this movie, but it just chose to stick with the feminists. Like girls are right and they can do whatever they want, and men have no say in this.
Right, and that goes exactly to my point, is that men have no arc in this story. None.
None.
Because even when the Constitution in Barberland is set right, and the Kens ask for not half, one voice of representation on their Supreme Court, President Barb is like, no, because things will not change in Barbie Land until the real world is perfected.
Mm-hmm. Well, world is fine. So, no, this whole thing, I already talked about this whole stupid. I mean, when I was a kid, in the 90s, nobody told me I couldn't be a doctor. So this whole message that girls can't be anything, I don't know who's telling girls this, but we haven't been telling girls for decades. This whole empowerment nonsense that girls need to be told it's pointless. It's just at this point dumb. I mean, like I said, it's been for decades, and my Middle Eastern father didn't ever once tell me, no, you can't be a doctor. My uncle, hell, my uncle's wife in Egypt is a doctor.
Same thing here. My dad always said to me and my sisters, you can be whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. He's like, I want you to be successful in life because I don't want you to rely on any man. So yeah, I have never been told an option where I can't be a doctor, or, as long as you work hard towards it, but I've never been told I can't be something. I mean, look at the 90s. Didn't we have that commercial going on where I can do anything you can do but better?
Yeah.
With
that was a song.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The Michael Jordan commercials. I'm from Chicago, so it's like a woman up against, Yeah, but a woman can be like, I can do what you do, but better, or some bullshit like that.
Well,
So-
there was a song years ago, like in the 70s, where it was a guy, guy and a gal, and it was anything you can do, I can do better, and it was just a back and forth. It was a silly, fun little song.
Yeah, and then I do believe like women need men and men need women. Like
I did want.
Oh, go ahead, Nadia.
I did want to bring up a point a while back when Ryan was talking about not having positive father figures in the last couple of movies. I know we went back and forth with the MCU. I will say there was one movie that was released this year that did have a positive father storyline. Nope. Dungeons and Dragons. The Dungeons and Dragons movie had a positive father storyline. Yes. A positive storyline about a dad wanting to go back to save his daughter, to be, to be a family again and stuff. It was a real positive message about fatherhood. So, and Nomi knows I have to sneak that movie in every single time I talk about.
Yeah,
movies.
she does do this. Like she'll always grift on Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons, yes.
But what I was gonna say, because like we were growing up, we were homeschooled, so we grew up on a farm. We were secluded. We didn't have friends growing up. The only way we had friends is that we went to church, and that was only once a week. So I had my brothers and sisters growing up, and as we were adults, my brother became a police officer, and during our homeschooling days, my brother did yard work and he hung out with other homeschooler families. And then I just stayed home, hung out with my grandmother, learned how to cook, and I learned how to sew. When my brother became a police officer, and when it came to his uniforms were either too big or his sleeves were too long. And guess what? I came in and I altered all of his uniforms for him. He didn't know how to do any of that. My grandma taught me how to sew. So he's my brother. I'll do anything for him. But if any guy were to come to me like, hey, like my sleeves are too long, or like, hey, can you adjust this for me? By all means, yes, because there are. How would you call a seamstress a male seamstress? Because a seamster, yeah. But like there are men who are good at sewing as well. But like for me, my brother growing up, he didn't know how to do that. I know how to do all of that of just hemming his length of his shirt, the hem of his sleeves, and he looked professional in his career. So we balance each other out. So it's important
What
for
a
us
concept.
to
Men and women working
Yeah.
together.
yeah. And that's the thing. Go ahead, Nadia.
No, I was agreeing with you. That's how it should be. Men and women, there should be a balance. I don't necessarily call men and women equal. They just bring different things to the table that, balance off of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then same thing with my brother. Like growing up, I loved baking. Baking is my forte. My brother, when it came to, like, he was a police officer. He had to bring some stuff to the department. He's like, hey, can you make all of this stuff for me? He's like, sure. I knew how to do, like, make all of those cookies or cakes and, like, how to provide it for 100 officers. My brother doesn't know how to.
What you do?
Yes.
Well, I want. Yeah, I'm just. I just wanted to say also, like, this.
Your brother could learn how to bake.
He could. He's a good cook.
I'm just saying those type of things. It's sort of like saying, would you want to be drafted, or would you rather have your brother be drafted? Type of deal. Also.
Yes. But also, my brother worked graveyard shifts, so he didn't have the time to, like. I'll get to you in a second, Shadow. But yeah, he didn't have the time to, like, really, like, learn and do the sewing.
Yeah.
So he liked doing graveyard shifts, and there was times like he would go 2 hours early because they were short staffed or something big happened. And and I would always be there, and I'd have something ready for my brother to eat for him to go on a shift, or he'd come to swing by to the house to get something to eat. He forgot something, I'd have it ready for him.
So I have a question for everyone. If this was still starring Amy Schumer, would this movie have been as successful?
Oh,
no. Absolutely
I'm just saying, so the content of the movie doesn't matter. It's the fact that and I said this before, it's the fact that there's a lot of pretty people on screen.
It's a lot of marketing.
I would
It's marketing.
Tom, I would actually disagree with you on that. I think the script and the movie itself would be entirely different if Amy Schumer. I think it would have been way more quote unquote woke, that more woke than it is, and I think she would have her hands in it way more. I honestly don't think it's because there's pretty people on screen. I think the script would be completely different if she was on board.
Go ahead, JD.
Okay, so Shadow, and you're next. I'm gonna disagree with that because the reason Amy Schumer walked away from the original project in 2016. She at first said it was scheduling. No, she said that it wasn't woke enough. The script.
That's what I meant. Yeah, I'm saying, like, if she had taken part in it, if she had agreed to it and continued with it, it would have been way more woke and full of. It would have been worse to me.
But she said that this film was to her liking, so this would have been the script that Amy, which just gives Tom a lot more credit that this is really the 2016 Amy Schumer script, just wokeified even more. Shadow,
I was also going to say, like, specifically on the pretty people thing, like, psychologically speaking, pretty people have certain advantages and certain draws over other people. Do you think the Christopher Nolan Batman movies would work as well if they cast like a 5'10" dude with no beard, balding, or do you think it would have done better with Christian Bale? People like seeing pretty people, especially on screen. That's why the majority of actors until recently have been either the upper echelons of attractiveness or approaching the upper echelons of attractiveness. And those approaching need to be really damn good actors or comedians or some other skill to be on the same pair as
doing
someone
okay,
who's
and Cillian Murphy's a weird-looking dude.
pretty.
But then Florence Pugh's in there with her pews.
Keep in mind, it's also if the character looks like the actor looks like the character. Batman is not a 5'10" balding whatever dude. But on the other hand, people want the character to look like the actor to look like the character. So yeah, if the character was written as some ugly character, people would not be happy if you changed it into a good-looking.
I also think I'm wondering if Amy Schumer's character was actually supposed to be the mother and not be Barbie. I'm wondering if she was supposed to be the American Ferrara character.
I have no idea.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I can't see her as Barbie. I just she does not. I mean, she's not the first person that comes to mind when I go, okay, I'm going to cast someone to look like Barbie. Maybe she's like one of the other Barbies, like what if the thousands of other Barbies she had in mind. But as the generic Barbie I grew up with, I cannot imagine Amy Schumer as the Barbie.
But don't you agree that, like, so Lily went to see Ryan Gosling? Don't you think there's some girlfriend that said, hey, Margot Robbie's in there, and half the time she's in this workout outfit that's a thong. You might enjoy watching it. Like, you don't think that's like conversation to be dragged in there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I will go see anything Henry Cavill is in. So don't get me wrong. I 100% believe sex sells, and people went into this movie because of Ryan Gosling. Because of Ryan Gosling's like six pack. But I also think it's part of, like, I don't want to say normies, but like people who don't, look at every single detail of a film, that just want to turn off their brain and watch it. Yeah, they're going to probably be like, okay, Margot Robbie's in it, Ryan Gosling in it. Let's go see, sexy people be Barbie and Ken. So I agree with you on that, but I don't think the movie would have been as, in my opinion, I don't think I would have enjoyed the movie if Amy Schumer was in Barbie, because I think there would have been a lot more of wokeness in it. I to your point, JV, about her saying like this is the movie she wanted, I mean, I would say the same thing if I wanted to keep a job in Hollywood too. So I don't know how much you want to take that to be truth as well, coming from Amy Schumer too. I don't like her. I don't think she's a good person, and sometimes I think she's full of shit, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean,
no one in Hollywood's a good person. Let's just be honest with that.
I mean,
yeah, I know. I worked in Hollywood for 10 years, so yeah.
I mean, look at who her uncle is. I mean, can you really trust anything they say?
No, completely agree.
So I have a question. If Mattel did, or Hasbro or whatever, did a G.I. Joe.
The Mattel. Oh, Hasbro, okay.
Yeah, it did a G.I. Joe in this same fashion, but with masculinity. What would the box office be then? If they did the same exact thing where you have a kid playing with his G.I. Joe and the dad being there, and you made a father-son version of this movie.
I think it would do well. Even without an Oppenheimer.
No, I think it would get blown away by negative media.
Yeah, reaching hens.
But the negative media is also helping Barbie too, as well. I think a lot of the reason is because there's so much conversation around Barbie of people either liking it, hating it, or in the middle of it, and it's just so polarizing to have these different conversation is driving people to be in the theaters to be like, hey, I kind of want to see what everybody's talking about, why so and so hates it, or why so and so might like it.
How many people here wouldn't have watched it unless they had to make content about it?
Let me just say, the thing is, the problem is the message that this movie has is supported by Hollywood. So even if you have people like Ben Shapiro going, yeah, this is a bad message, Hollywood is supporting it. So it's pushing it out there. On the other hand, if you had a G.I. Joe movie, hopefully with a lot of explosions and guns and really cool stuff, Hollywood would be shutting it down. Yes.
No, I would want to have someone else. Extraction team. The team that does Extraction, make a G.I. Joe film that's actually and then whatever. Like I said, real action.
I mean, it was that the Hollywood people would be saying this is a toxic, horrible movie. So you get a ton of that.
Just a shadow. Okay, so
I mean, Barbie was marketed very well. I mean, it was marketed, and I knew it was going to be a hit because it's an event for women. Like it's a girls' night. It's women go to, it's marketed towards them. So like I would be interested to see how they would do a Hot Wheels movie because I didn't grow up with Hot Wheels.
It will have a female driver. It will have a female driver.
Now, I will say this. I will say this about the message and how media is reacting. You've got a fourth wave feminist film that is being lauded by the media. You have a film that I think we can all agree is a universal truth. Child trafficking is bad, and it's getting panned by the media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Fox barely talks about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree with you, JB. It boggles my mind that movie has any controversy around it anyway. It's a topic that both sides. I don't care what you vote. I don't care what side. We all should be like coming together and be like, hey, this is a big fucking problem. We all should be, concerned about it, not making it a QAnon theory.
It's not both sides. Look at the left side and look at what they've been trying to do for the past couple of years. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like we should be together on it. It should not be dividing us.
Okay, in 1993, a film came out called Philadelphia. Amazing film.
Yeah.
Very well done. That film prompted so much funding for AIDS research because the simple message was, hey, this is real. People are dying.
And it had no political party at that point in time.
Correct.
It was the child trafficking. The fact that it was done by HL Studios, which is a more right-wing, conservative, faith-based company, is already putting Hollywood against it. Is already putting the media against it. The fact that it's being backed by large conservative people or faith-based people again puts the media against it. And let's be honest, Hollywood, their hands with the kids. I mean, come on.
Nickelodeon. Look at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But also with that, protecting kids has definitely become like a right-wing, like conservative
in general
standpoint
for
in regards
everything.
to political stuff. And unfortunately, due to just the absolute shit show that the world is becoming, people are falling back on their tribalism. They're not thinking rationally, they're not thinking logically, they're thinking my side versus your side. And if your side is puppies are great, you're going to hate puppies just because that side likes puppies. That's a massive oversimplification, but most people are so stuck in the tribe, so stuck in the groupthink, they're going to look at this film and go, it's conservative, it's pushing a conservative message, there's got to be something wrong with it. What's the first thing I can think of that's wrong with it? Lock in with groupthink, pursue groupthink.
And you can say the same thing for Barbie. Barbie's got the same thing. You have a bunch of ladies got dressed up in pink to go see Barbie. They find one or two things to latch onto, and they all agree about it. And you can look at TikTok or Instagram Reels or all that stuff that are pushing the same narrative on two different sides to make conflicts between the genders. That's what's happening, and that's Barbie pushed that even further. FNT talked about it for 3 hours. We're talking about it. Everyone's talking about a movie that shouldn't have been talked about as much as it is. Why? Because it's culturally relevant, because you have to either defend it or you have to either take it down in some way, and both sides have to do that. The difference is that the other thing is you're feeding a topic that people want to watch because people are curious about the discussion.
And this is why...
Honestly, I'm only talking about it because you guys are talking about it.
It's the
I
algorithm.
really
It's trending.
don't care about Barbie at all.
And this is why I say that the Legally Blonde film is a better film. Yes, it was 20 years ago, but it still deals with the same themes. So just apples to apples, Legally Blonde preaches the message than Barbie does. That's all I'm saying.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, even with her boyfriend in that movie too, because she initially starts off with that jerk, and that's why all the entire plot happens. But then she meets somebody else. She meets somebody else who is also smart, and he doesn't mind that she's also smart and successful. And they're a team together. They support each other, and that's what Barbie and Ken should have been.
Yeah. Barbie and Ken should have been together at the end of this film, and there should have been a concept of, we're better together, blah blah blah. That was not the case of the film. This is basically if you like it, you like it. But it seems like this movie was made for the people on the whatever podcast that they have talking to. 25-year-old girls from Miami that are like, I got my guy, I got this, I got that. Yeah, I'm a 10, blah blah blah. That's what this seemed like this movie was made for. And they're gonna and then build up their egos.
Because even if the ending was nice, how we're all saying, oh yeah, she saw like all these images of moms and daughters and everything. Yeah, but she left Barbie world alone, so it's still pushing the message that you're still a strong, independent woman and you don't need no man, which is weird. So I don't know.
I mean, when you realize that the underlying goal behind a lot of this stuff is to break up. Sorry, that's going to get into some like cultural conspiracy theory stuff.
It's not that conspiracy theory there, Paul.
No, you're good, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the underlying goal is to break up social groups. For the last like 20, 30 years, you've been breaking up the extended family, dividing people up. You want to go to college, then you want to relocate to some other part of the country, only see your family for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Now they're breaking it up to you don't even need to have a family. You can have your wild time, your fun time. If you get a kid, great, but you don't really need a kid anymore. All this media really pushing yourself to completely and absolutely break up any sort of connection or belonging. So at the end of the day, a certain uncle by the name of Sam can basically be the center of your world. That last part is where it gets kind of conspiracy theory.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
But I mean, overall, like it's the same message you've been seeing for decades. Personally, as someone like the youngest person on this panel, half the age of many people on this panel, growing up, like I don't remember who brought it up, but the dad thing.
Half. I don't think
20.
All right.
JD turned his face. That was so funny.
What?
So I know, I'm pretty sure something.
I heard my name called what?
No, it was just funny because Shadow said he's like, yeah, I know the youngest person on this panel is half the age of some of you on here, and you just like whipped your head like he was talking about you or something. And it was so really funny.
Yeah. But so I grew up on like the early 2000s, like sitcoms.
I'm sorry. He was talking the whole time. Oh, okay.
I grew up on like these early 2000s sitcoms and shows, and I don't remember who brought up the point, but like the fathers thing, that's something I've been looking back at recently. All of this shit that I was consuming as a kid, all this shit that people that are younger than me are consuming now, it is absolutely poison to the mind. Every single father is a bumbling fool. Every single mother is either the strong housewife or a bumbling fool. The eldest daughter is strong,
or
capable.
evil too.
The brothers are assholes and idiots and fools.
Okay, Shadow,
Well-
you're onto something, Shadow. You are onto something.
Shadow,
Okay.
I mean, look at Modern Family. Modern Family is a prime example of a bumbling father and a mother who's basically a bitch the whole time. She's like, so yes.
The only show that you can have that doesn't do that is like Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods shows like a bunch of
love that show.
Patriarchs, like the good fathers. And I'm just saying there are some things on. They're not sitcoms, like dramas, but you have Blue Bloods, you have Yellowstone, you have even Sons of Anarchy has some decent father-son dynamic with Jackson. I'm just saying, like
So I grew up in the days of Happy Days where I had Mr. C to Mr. Cunningham was present and was the rock of the family, and that goes back to like Ozzie and Harriet, leave it to Beaver. All of a sudden, and then you had the Cosby Show. Yeah, I know Cosby, whatever, but
it's still a great show.
But Cosby was the rock of the family. I mean, the wife was competent, had her own thing, but Cosby was the rock of the family. You had Rock. I mean, Rock. Come on now. But then you get a show, Married with Children, The Simpsons, where the father is portrayed as
Roseanne.
a bumbling. Roseanne. But I'm not done yet. Hold on, because it goes even further. Then you see this in every Disney Channel, where it's not just the father, it's the mother, are both absent, clueless, have no idea what's going on.
Fresh off the boat.
It's the kids who solve all the problems. It's the kids who the parents come to.
Not just the kids. The eldest daughter specifically. The brothers are always mentally defective and incompetent.
Malcolm in the Middle, you had the.
I grew up with Home Improvement. Home Improvement had positive mother and father figures in it. I mean, I know Tim Allen was a bit of a goofball, but at the end of the day, he was a good father figure to it. That's what I grew
Wilson
up
was
with.
technically the best parent on that show.
Juju.
But I agree with JV. This has been going on for at least 20 years or 30 years in terms of systematically breaking down that family unit on television. Because you had some good ones in the 90s. You had it still being equal. You had Home Improvement. You had Family Matters. You had Family Ties. You had even the Dinosaur Show, Growing Pains.
Family Ties. Family. Okay, now Fresh Prince is a much better example. Family Ties. The father was kind of there, but it was Alex P. Keaton who was the rock of that family.
Well, that was also the main part of the show. It's about him. It was more about the kids and the parents. Tool Time or Home Improvement, and some of those were more about the parents. Like Home Improvement was much more about the parents. But then if you did Family Matters, it was much more about the kids. So it depends on which ones you were watching. Or Fresh Prince. It's about Will. At least not, or Carlton too. But it depends on the type of show.
I just like the fact that Family Ties, Alex P. Keaton was originally supposed to be the butt of every joke.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox.
And he became the absolute standard for that show.
But I will say, Married with Children and Roseanne, as much as they started to break down the families, they actually showed realistic views in my view. Like Roseanne was the most realistic view of a family. And Dan, even though he was never shown as a fool. Dan was never shown as a fool. He was shown as a working man. Yeah, he was just a working man. Bundy was shown as a fool. Like, he was shown as a broken down, but that was more satire on blue collar.
I think Married with Children was more satire to kind of take pot shots at the traditional family norm from like the 50s, right? Because not every family was like the Cleavers.
That was
basically
show with Sorry, JV. I was just.
It was basically taking a Norman. It was taking a Rockwell painting and spray painting on it.
Yep.
Married with Children, was that the film with the not the film, the show with like the two hippie parents, the oldest?
No.
Okay.
No.
Married with Children is Al Bundy and
Al Bundy, Peg Bundy. The daughter is a bimbo.
Oh, was that the one? And then there was the youngest child that like they had adopted or something like that.
No.
Wow. No.
I even feel old, and I'm not that much older than you. I feel old.
I had to watch some random episodes from like I'm recognizing these names because I had to watch some of these.
Yeah, I think in the later season they did have another little kid on there.
But
like in the late season.
So
wait, was like the intro like a bunch of people asking the dad for money?
Yeah.
No,
they were. Yeah, they were in the intro. They were
on the couch.
He was giving them money. He was like passing out money.
Now I've only seen one episode of that, but now I know kind of what you're talking about. Okay,
it's a fucking incredible show.
The He-Man Woman Hating Club. Oh my god!
I know.
Watch that episode.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
And what was the show with Alan Thicke? Alan Thicke and Kirk Cameron. What was that show?
Oh,
Growing Pains.
Was it Growing Pains?
I think it was Growing Pains.
I think it was Growing Pains. Yeah.
Well, that show was the first acting gig. Leonardo DiCaprio.
He was the young kid, right?
Yeah.
But my point is, they had a clear delineation at that point in time. Shows for adults and kids.
Mm-hmm.
You had Saved by the Bell. That's for kids. You had shows that were clear delineations.
Right.
I could not recommend someone taking their daughter to see Barbie.
No,
I would agree.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
definitely.
I would have to say like 16 or older. Maybe.
Yeah, 16 or older.
If you were looking on
Isn't
age
it PG-13?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even think
The point
a
is, a
13-year-old's gonna get it.
a Barbie movie should be something that you could take your kid to.
Yeah, like
exactly.
I
PG
told some
or
people
G.
this. It
Yes.
should be G or PG, like lower end PG.
And that's how they marketed it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
I
what
saw.
it should
Okay,
have been.
so I was at Universal seeing Oppenheimer. I saw families walk out of the theater from Barbie because they thought it was a kids movie.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm not surprised.
they were getting refunds from
I
that.
wouldn't take my kids to a
Deadpool that happened with
PG-13
Sausage
movie
Party.
without. I wouldn't take my kids to a PG-13 movie without watching it first. To be
Yeah,
honest,
that's-
in this day and age of how Disney is too.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to go pre-screen things before I would take kids. I wouldn't take my 7-year-old to a PG-13 movie.
That's how my
If it's
parents
Disney
felt.
Hellraiser, so I can't say anything.
But
And
that's-
as far as the Disney thing goes, this has not been a good week for Disney.
No,
So,
God,
just
no.
Disney.
Tom from Midnight's Edge pointed out that they didn't mention in the advertisements that it was
Yep.
PG-13.
I was
No,
just
they
gonna
did
say
not.
lot
that.
of parents-
Rating it all.
Well, they have to say that. By law, they have to say
I
that.
mean, they kind of released it bit by bit in the trailers. I knew that this wasn't going to be for kids when they finally put out that clip of the Kens on the beach when they were like, well, I'm going to beat you off. And the beach off. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not for kids.
Yeah, but I mean, put it this way: Ghostbusters. I did not get any of the jokes in Ghostbusters when I was a kid. That were in there. So I'm just saying, like, I guess this day and age.
But what was Ghostbusters?
But in Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters entertained you as a kid though, because there was constantly stuff happening. Like in Barbie, when they're having all of their like conversations, they're just standing there. All the kids in the theater that I was in there with were so bored. All of them were like fidgeting and all this stuff because there wasn't really anything going on. There wasn't anything happening with Barbie. They were all super happy and awake during the first 30 minutes. And then as soon as they went to the real world, all these kids lost interest.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear some stuff of jokes you might have missed, go watch original episodes of Animaniacs.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, Ren and
Oh
Stimpy.
my God.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah. What's the one?
You
with
watch that
the
stuff now,
kangaroo?
and it's like, I missed that. I missed
Yeah.
that. Oh, wow.
What is it?
Wait, what were you saying,
Rocko's
Nadia?
Modern Life. Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
That was the other one. Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
people don't realize that Rocco in that he was a telephone sex worker.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He was a telephone sex operator.
Yeah, he was. Like, he would be on the phone and he'd be like,
I'm telling you,
oh baby, yeah.
I never realized this. Not even once. But even The Simpsons too. I mean, I know it's not marketed for kids, but I watched it as a kid.
Simpsons, King of the Hill, those were marketed towards kids. That's a family show. It's not.
Extra doubt on King of the Hill. Extra doubt on King of the Hill.
There were still jokes in there that, as a kid, definitely went over my head. That I'm sure were more targeted towards adults.
Yeah, and that's a good show because if they can make a joke that the kid won't get but the adult does, that's a good family show.
Yeah, you know I will agree because I do like King of the Hill because like Hank Hill just provided for his family, but he was a man.
Propane accessories.
Yeah, he knew his propane talk, but like he also he was the man of the house. He would tell his wife and his kid how things should be done. Especially, he was like hard on his son Bobby, because he wants the best for his son. Not to be this like
Bobby.
Yeah, not to be this like soy boy what we have right now, like who's just a simp for all the girls out there.
Best episode was when
I've seen.
Sorry. No, best episode when Bobby was dating the vegan, and she like broke so he goes and gets this 96-ounce steak and just sits like, I want it extra rare, and just sits there and eats the whole thing in front of her, and her parents cheer for him. I'm sorry, I love that episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
I've only seen that clip and it's amazing.
Go watch the whole episode there, the Shadowhawks.
I'm trying to find it. I can only find badly edited versions on YouTube.
But we've been on Barbie for like almost 2 hours. I think it'd be a good time to talk about The Witcher.
No.
Video games.
Absolutely not. No.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I just love this series and they freaking massacred it.
Absolutely. Even if you take the Witcher IP out of it, it's just a poorly written fantasy series. It's so
absolutely. But even like having read the books that season 1 was based on, had I read the books, I would not have been able to get past episode 4 of season 1 because from day one, they did not care about adapting these books. They cared about telling their own bullshit narratives, their own bullshit story, using the name The Witcher because it would draw in all the video game fans. Their defense of, we're using the books, fucking bullshit. I'm going to mute because I'm going to
everything right now. That is everything. That's everything right now.
I have not read the books and I have not played the video game. So I went in completely unaware of what The Witcher was, and it still was poorly written. I thought season 1 was okay, but again, I don't know the background. I actually bought the first short story collection to read. It's in my TBR, but yeah, they did my guy dirty at the end of this season, and I really hope they don't come back. I really hope this is it.
I don't think Liam Hemsworth is enough to carry a show.
Well, real quick,
on hiatus permanently.
Lily, did you still want to go, or do you want to hang out?
Yeah, no, I gotta go. I was just here for like the Barbie thing, but I still have clinic tomorrow, so I have to go get ready for that.
Well, thank you for coming on for the Barbie discussion. I'm assuming this should be the last time we discuss it. I think we really kind of beat the dead horse here. It's going to make $1 billion, and that's the end of it. So but yes, Lily, thank you for coming on. You can catch her on Twitter. Her Twitter is in the description below, along with everybody's links, Twitters.
Sorry. If anything that I took from this movie was I will never stop saying Kenergy or Knopf or trying to make even more like that's like my favorite thing to do now, and it's so hilarious. Now I'm gonna start just throwing all those like nice things at guys and being like, you are Knopf. I appreciate your Kenergy.
I love your Kenergy.
Big energy.
So yeah,
I'll talk to you later.
At least they gave me Ryan Gosling. I will never stop talking about his abs either. So just kidding.
Oh my God. And
just
real
objectifying men.
And real quick, Lily, you need to go back and watch the intro to the stream because I added you to the cast. You're very much gonna like your little intro. Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right.
All right. See you, Lily.
All right, guys. Well,
Bye,
have
Lily.
a good rest
Bye,
of the
Lily.
night. All right. Bye.
Bye, Lily.
Bye.
Now I want someone to take that Muppet song where I'm a Muppet or a man, but do it with Ken.
I'm a Muppet of a man.
I kind of want someone
AI
to do that.
chatbots exist. Just pay like $5 a month, and you could probably get it done in like a day.
So,
I'm too lazy for that.
So, are we? So, are we going to keep talking about the Barbie, or are we?
No,
actually
we're done with Barbie.
Okay.
We're done with Barbie.
We're done.
I wish I could get drunk. I wish I could drink.
Oh, I saw this article. Americans are too stupid to understand what The Witcher was about.
Oh, it's this one. Yeah, no, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna
Okay. Now I have said, and I'll just say my piece on this. Whatever. I know nothing about this world. I've never read the books. I've never played the games, but I know it is based on, I believe, Polish folklore.
Yes.
Polish,
Yeah.
It is a Polish. Yeah.
And all I have to, and I watched all three seasons.
Hey,
I watched
revenge.
all three seasons because if I'm going to have an opinion on something, it should at least be an educated one. But I could tell right from the beginning, this is girl boss.
Oh yeah.
Not in the
Which
books.
Absolutely.
makes no
Not in the
sense.
books. In the books,
Right.
it's not
Right.
Is not
Yeah.
girl
Right.
boss.
Yeah, the show.
Yep, not in the video games either.
Also,
But the show
very
is.
much.
No, yeah, the books is all girl basically banging people and be like, oh yeah, this is the girl. This is the girl I banged before. Oh, this is the other girl I banged before.
Yeah.
It's kind of basically Witcher. It's monsters and banging.
And it's good. It's
The game-
really
the-
good.
The games are amazing. Witcher 3 is one of the best games ever made. You can't deny that. Even Kat would agree with that, I'm assuming.
No.
No, she wouldn't because there's
No?
no guns and
No.
there's too much talking.
Yes.
The fact she can't kill Yennefer is enough to make Kat not like that game.
Yes.
But on the show,
Wow.
they did not like, even separate from not respecting the books, they didn't respect the culture that it came from. Like, there's an article that came out a while back praising how the show was inspired. Like, they did some of Yennefer's spells was inspired by the fact that the actress is part Indian, so they used Hindu, like they used Hindi dancing and Hindu traditional magic to inspire Yennefer's magic in season 3. This is a Polish story. Why the fuck are you using magic from a subcontinent half a world away? You shouldn't be fucking doing that. But
she was naked most of the time for that, wasn't she?
I just saw that on Twitter.
There was not
and I
in season
had to
3.
resist the urge to like.
I haven't watched season 3. I've watched season 1.
Okay. In season 3, there was not a lot of nudity at all.
Like, I don't even think there's any in season 3.
No.
Didn't the casting director come out and say that basically they hired the actress who played Yennefer because she's not a good-looking chick or in some way, like insulted her
Basically.
looks in some way?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like,
Basically, yes.
wow.
She said, and I quote, "I wanted to redefine beauty standards."
Yes.
Yennefer and Trish in the game are gorgeous.
I feel bad for Adria.
No, what would you do? What would you have done, Nadia? I'm actually curious. What would you have done?
I would have quit. I would have been like, I'm on my way out with Henry. Adios. You can recast me too. Yeah, no way.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with you on that, Nadia. Like, okay.
I'm not going to have somebody, regardless of what you think of how I look, I'm not going to have somebody basically use me as a PR stunt to say, like, hey, I casted someone who's not of beauty standards. You know, this is the person.
Yeah.
No,
So it's Rachel Ziegler with Snow White.
Yeah. No, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Larry, are you okay?
God, not Snow White. There's going to be more Snow White coming out stuff too, so that's probably going to be a big topic next week.
Well, we got
God,
I'm
they
just
get
gonna let you
it.
know, Ahsoka is technically next week.
Yes,
23rd.
Oh, is it the 20th? Yeah, that's right. It is the 23rd. What comes out? Oh, that's right. This weekend is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
and the Meg.
Yep, with Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
With
Tom
Tom
Holland.
hated.
Tom hated.
Oh,
Like,
no
what?
doubt he would hate it.
Why the
Tom
fuck
Connors.
does Meg 2 look like it's going to be more entertaining than that like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
I'm
movie?
not
I didn't grow up on
dark movie.
Because it probably
Meg 2 is Cocaine Bear, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I didn't grow up on the OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, but I grew up on the one Nickelodeon did as a reboot. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Seth Rogen's film, like just from the trailers alone, not excusing the freaking April O'Neil shit, it looks ugly. It looks horrific. It doesn't
also
look like a good,
I-
well-made. It looks like it's
message
meant to
in
be
it, I
a
think.
horror film.
Yeah, I don't
By
like
the
the
way,
animation. Go ahead, Nadia.
Sorry, I just wanted to say I did not know the fact that the Meg and Meg 2 are based off books. It's actually a book series on this.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I did not know that
Yeah.
either. Huh.
And Jude from the Salty Nerd will tell you that the movies are nothing like the books, and she would refuse to see Meg 2 because of it.
Oh wow.
I love Jude. She's hilarious.
Yes, I do too. Sorry, Nomi, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say on the Seth Rogen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I hate the animation style. I
hate
think,
it.
yeah, I think that's the
It's-
laziest animation that can be produced.
Okay, now
No, they had to try to make it that ugly.
Okay, it is similar. It's similar to Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but it looks dirty.
Yes,
It looks dirty.
grungy. Yeah,
It's like not finished almost, it looks like.
Mhm.
Like they didn't go in to clean it up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I like the comics that are out lately with The Last Ronin. Those are really good. That's what they should have adapted, not this crap.
That TMNT animated CG one that came out a couple of years ago, that was really
the
good.
Nickelodeon
though.
one.
No, not the
Yeah.
Nickelodeon one. The movie that came out. That was
Michael Bay
Nickelodeon.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking
Michael
about the
Bay
show.
one.
No, not Michael Bay. There was It was called TMNT.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon show. There was a
Oh
teenage...
no, there was a movie that came out in 2012. No,
I don't know.
Let me find the movie. It had
Hold on, I'm finding it. There's one that came out this year. Oh no, that's the
Yeah.
Seth Rogen one. I'm trying to find what you're talking about. I got Wikipedia.
TMNT
Go
came out
Ninja,
in
go
2007.
Ninja, go
2007.
Ninja, go Ninja, go.
That
go
one was
Ninja,
really
go
good.
Ninja, go.
It had really great animation style. They kept everything kind of more realistic. It had a good story of Leonardo coming back as the leader and taking that role and figuring it out. Good story with Raph and Leo. It was a very... I wish it was the live action version, and it had some weird stuff to it, but the TMNT in 2007 is really worth watching. Animated movie. It did get released in theaters. Box office was only about 995 million, though.
I would just recommend reading the latest comics that are out. It's even better than that. That's my recommendations.
So, from what I heard, the recent comics they've gone back to the black and white style. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when they were good.
Yeah.
Oh, that had Nolan North as Raphael. I did not know that. Interesting.
Oh wow.
So Chris Evans, Casey Jones, Mako Splinter, Patrick Stewart, Max Winters, James Arnold Taylor, Leonardo, Sarah Michelle Gellar played April O'Neil. So, well, I'm just giving you the cast.
Right.
You can watch it free on Roku.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We are at 2 hours, so usually that's where we kind of call it quits. As I said, I think we beat the Barbie horse to death. The Witcher's baby basically dead in the water. I don't think there's ever going to be a season 4. So
wait,
what's wrong with you?
I thought I had something. I was gonna like mime beating the Witcher again, but I didn't have it on hand.
Just stop.
Yeah, I am because I don't have the X.
Should do. To the point. Say your shit.
I thought the guest goes first.
No, the guest goes last.
Oh,
dumbass.
So Monday night, you can catch me on my channel streaming episode 5 of House Hawk, CK3, a Game of Thrones mod, where I'm trying to conquer Westeros as, well, my descendants at that point. And then after that, you can catch me back on this channel, well, Legion Talk specifically, because we're simulcasting, or Joker Voice if you're watching from there, where we will be reviewing season 4, episode 8 of Game of Thrones, or is it
9?
Episode 9. Episode 9 of Game of Thrones. Don't remember the name, but it's the Battle for the Wall. It's a good episode. I got a lot to share, a lot to talk about. Specifically,
I know.
I'm sorry, JV. I really am.
Mr. Laurence Knight.
Yes. So you guys can catch me in about half an hour with my co-host Samiel the Infamous and Nomi Without You. I had a blast tonight. I mean, I didn't see the movie, so I figured it would be smarter for me to keep my damn mouth shut because I didn't want to look stupid on live TV. But I've heard enough to know not to bother watching the film at all. And thank God I didn't watch season 3 of The Witcher.
Yeah, you saved. I would rather watch Barbie again than season 3 of The Witcher. I would watch Barbie 5 times in a row before I'd watch season 3 of The Witcher again. That being said, Nomi, your turn.
Hi. Yeah, so like Larry, in 30 minutes, I will be on Abyssal Musings with Samiel the Infamous and Larry. Monday, I will be hanging out with Shadow, JV, and Ryan for Game of Thrones talk. Maybe here and there with Tom, not sure, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, that's what I got going on for myself.
If you two need to bounce right now, to do stuff before your next stream, go ahead, guys. Feel free.
Sam can wait.
So, oh wow! Tom and Zort, go ahead, buddy.
I have a busy weekend. There'll be 3 or 4 streams this weekend. Early morning ones from Disney's Hollywood Studios tomorrow. Then Universal. Then Animal Kingdom Sunday morning. Then hopefully 9 or 10 the 90 stream if I can get back from where I have to be. This week will be crazy. I have family in town, but there will be still content. I will still be live. I'm going to be in a full X-Wing outfit, I think, on Wednesday. I'm going to look really dorky and goofy.
What time?
And hot.
Yes. Basically, I'm going to be live a lot. I'll be, for the first time, because I finally caved and got a Switch. So for the first time,
all right,
you did.
Congrats! OLED or not? Oh, OLED. Ooh, OLED.
It's the fancy Zelda Tears of the Kingdom
even nicer.
one. I will be on Mario Kart this Monday with
Ooh.
Geeks and Gamers. You can find me on the Fortnite streams when I get back from theme parks. Besides that, I'm very tired. I
feel that.
Nomi's coming around. I will be sending invitations for more people for Sunday's streams. I know JV might actually be very interested. Speaking of what I sent in the private chat about some Disney content creators and stuff like that. I didn't get into it here because I didn't think it would bore people, but there's some major drama with a very big Disney travel agent person.
Interesting. All right.
I put it in the FNR chat for you guys to see. I don't know how they actually read the article.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I will take a look.
Had a chance yet. But I've been very interested in what's come out this past week from WDW Pro and Valiant Renegade. Let me just say that earnings call next week is going to be interesting.
Oh yes, and I talked about this a little bit on before, and I can bring it up. There might be a class action lawsuit coming soon from DVC personnel.
Wow.
Because of so I can speak from this personally. The only room I could book in the last year was only one resort.
Really?
And only one room category. And it seems very odd, especially when I went 11 months out on my contract, which should be my first ability to pick. I should have full pick in my home resort. I could only get the Grand Villa. Everything else was booked, which doesn't make sense. And so basically, you have a lot of new DVC people that purchased and have not been able to use their points, and they've already banked 1 year's worth. So they basically lost an entire year's worth of points because they have not been able to use them. So,
and they're still actively charging you guys.
I get charged about $1,500 a year for my dues. And well, speaking, I stay in a room with those points for a week that would have cost $2,500 a night. I'm fine. Like I'm not pissed off, but other people are. And if they, so quick little recap what DVC is. It's a timeshare. If the number of people that I understand that might be going with this lawsuit sell their contracts, Disney will be bankrupt completely, without even the Hulu stuff.
Holy shit!
Because,
Holy shit!
No, please hold that down a little bit.
Sorry.
So what happens, I think, is that they were selling contracts based on more availability so you can buy a DVC contract and go to any of the resorts if you buy direct. People buy at Alani because it's cheap. It's only half sold, so it's a very easy place to buy in, and it also has one of the longest dates. My contract ends in 2042. I think my brother just bought one. His ends in 2050 something. But like the newer the resort, the longer the contract. So Alani's like 2070, something like that. Okay. So people buy there and go to Disney World or Disneyland. They oversold, and more people are trying to book into things. So people buying at the resorts here can't go to their own resorts. And let's just say it's in the thousands in terms of people that want to sell because they can't use it. And each of those contracts are at least $40,000 to $50,000 or more.
Wow.
So, and they have to buy them back because they don't want to devalue the vacation club. So so basically during the pandemic, they devalued the vacation club a lot because they weren't able to buy back properties. So they were selling for like 50% value and people were getting steals buying resale.
Right.
So this is very heady stuff, and I wouldn't talk too long, but I just want to say that is one thing that is currently, I know about maybe 20 of the people involved in this lawsuit personally. So this is actually something that will occur within a couple of months, and this will definitely be interesting. So I didn't mean to put it in. The other thing I'll talk to JV about separately. I wanted to get in touch with Pro because this person that is implicated is a big time. He's the largest Disney travel agent, period.
Really? Wow.
Like you might have seen him. I'll say his name because it's out there. Pete Warner from WW Info or Dreams Unlimited
even
Travel.
I know that name.
Yeah, he's been on CNBC. He's on as a Disney expert on a lot of news things.
Maybe you should try and get in touch with Vash too.
I'm OG's down here, and I think right now, and OG 55 he was in Magic Kingdom the other day, I think. But I'm just saying there's a big thing. I talked to Culture Casino earlier because he's another vacation club owner too. But sorry, that I will talk to all of you about. That's a story
we can go into further detail about this next week too if more information comes out because I definitely want to talk about that. So I know that Nomi and Laurence, you guys should probably bounce. You have like 18 minutes.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to get out of here, get out of here. So Kat, go ahead and what you got?
I will be live streaming tomorrow, probably playing Remnant from the Ashes or Remnant 2 from the Ashes. I will be playing video games with awesome hats provided for me by Muggsykins. She sent me a whole bunch of awesome gaming hats, so gaming hats only. This is one of them, by the way. Then I'm on Screaming Into the Void with Samiel the Infamous tomorrow. On Sunday, I will be live streaming as well, video games. Not sure which one, because a lot of people want to play GTA 5. There's a whole bunch of stuff on my list. And I will be on the Star Trek Engaged, where we'll be discussing Star Trek, the original series. So looking forward to that. And then the rest of the week is open. I don't know yet. I've been trying to get home from work and actually live stream. Someone actually gifted to me a copy of Remnant 2 for PC. So I want to at least devote one day to playing more on PC because I'm used to the controller.
Nice. I will real quickly go. I'll be on Screaming Into the Void tomorrow, and then Vet's talking that evening. Also be doing Star Trek Engage with Kat the Hijabi Gamer, Horny Alf, Devil Maybe Do It, Adam the Renaissance Nerd, Samiel the Infamous. I didn't think I said Samuel, so thank you. And I think that's it. So we're gonna let our guest go, and then JV always takes us out. Nadia, thank you for coming on. I know that you know
Thank you, Nadia.
You had a little bit different of a perspective about the movie, but that's one reason I wanted you to come on, because you know you saw it a little bit differently. So what do you have going on in the future?
My husband and I have a podcast, Inside All Day. We'll be releasing our next episode this Wednesday, and I am the fourth chair now for the Salty Nerd live stream every Tuesday at 2 p.m. So, and then I should. Oh, thank you. And then I don't know. I guess the door is open for anybody that wants to reach out to me. I'm NerdDollface on Twitter if anybody's looking for me.
And everybody's links are down in my description. Twitter, YouTube, you know, Twitch, whatever has been given to me, and that includes Nadia. I have all. I have her and her husband's podcast, and they're so yes, check them out. And Mr. JV, you take us out, buddy.
Well, I dropped a video this morning, which was my response to the Rolling Stone top 50 greatest comic book superhero films of all time. I addressed their top 10, which I will also be discussing if you want to know my top 10 comic book superhero films of all time. Go over to Wookie Be Bad on Sunday, noon Pacific. Myself, Wookie, and some other fine folks. We will be discussing that. We will be discussing a host of other topics as well. That's where you can catch me on Sunday. I'm not sure what I'm doing this weekend. Maybe I'll step into screaming into the void. Who knows? But this is his channel. No one gives two shits about him. So I get to take us out. Chat, you were wonderful. Everyone have a great day. Like, subscribe, share the stream. Make a comment after the stream. It extends the algorithm out. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and toodles.
Maybe I am insane. Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. See this? Right there in the mouth! Macho Man Randy Savage of the Ultimate Warrior and the forces of Hulkamania that I have seen great strides before. Together at SummerSlam. What you gonna do when Hulkamania and the Ultimate Warrior?
I'm getting your foot off my shoulder. Well, there you have it. I still haven't found.
Here's the next champion. Don't worry, I'm a fan of white. Because comparatively speaking to the Macho Man Randy Savage, you are nothing but garbage. Nothing but garbage, guy. Yeah.